This is for men only. Women, you can watch this, but you're probably not going to be too happy with what I got to say. So you may not want to watch this. This is primarily for men. How do you select a good mate? We're talking about relationships. I talked about relationship with God the Father, how to have an intimate relationship with Him. Yesterday I talked about how to have relationships with your various families during the different seasons of life, what all the different dynamics and culture and things are going on. Today I want to talk about a relationship with your significant other, your spouse. Okay? Guys, the Bible has a lot to say about it. And I come with some experience. I've made some mistakes. Red flags were there. I didn't have enough wisdom at the time to recognize them. And I certainly didn't have the maturity to understand the consequences that would come when you make a mistake by selecting the wrong person. So I want to lay this out for you. God intends most men to have a significant helpmeet. A helpmeet is someone that will come alongside of them and complement them, compete them, not compete with them, or worse, undermine them. So what I'm going to do is share some characteristics of the Bible, from the Bible, that talks about a bad person to be married to. Okay? I'm not going to give you a secular way of looking at it. I'm going to give you a biblical way of looking at it. Okay? The first one, a lot of this is going to come from the book of Proverbs. It's a book of wisdom. Okay? And Proverbs is written by Solomon, who had a lot of experience with women, had many wives, a lot of concubines, and made a lot of mistakes. So, you know, you can learn from your mistakes. I learned from mine. The difference is you're not a failure. You're a failure when you just quit and give up. But if you made a mistake in the past, I'm here to encourage you. There's still hope, and you can bring that experience you had with you into your next relationship that will help you to be successful. Okay, let's look at the red flags. First of all, the wise woman builds her house, but the foolish one tears it down with her own hands. A house is not always a home, okay? When you have a house, you're talking about construction. A poor woman doesn't build a house. She's not a nester, okay? She's more occupied in the homes of other people than in her own home. In fact, the word here where it says a foolish woman is one that it means dull, thick, sluggish. She's dull to wisdom, and she's sluggish in her response to God's admonition that wise women need to be busy in their own homes, not busybody in the homes of many other people. Okay, so guys, look at your potential mate. Where is she spending her time? Is she a nester, or is she someone that's a busybody? Okay? The word tear down comes from the Hebrew word meaning to overthrow. If you've ever been in a home like that, where you have a foolish woman in there, she may even have kids and a husband, she's going to create a revolt in that home. She's going to overthrow it. There's going to be fostered rebellion in there. You know, no matter how hard you work, how much time you invest in your kids and family, she's going to ruin it for you. So guys, one thing to look forward to is notice whether she's a builder or she tears down things, okay? How does she enhance her place where she's at right now? Go and look at it. Is it cluttered? Is it a mess? Is it disorganized? Does it have any symmetry to it? Is there some unity to it? Is there a direction to it? Pay attention to these little things. Next one. A bad woman is boisterous. Man, we see a lot of these today. They get on TikTok. In other words, that means that they're easily excitable, energetic, and they make a lot of noise. They create a lot of commotion and turbulence. She's kind of like an egg beater, always making motion. She's the kind of woman that has no order to her life whatsoever. She's a whirlwind, tumbleweed, floating here and there. There's no key thing here is there is no stability. If you can picture a home where the dog is barking, the TV's real loud, the kids are screaming, it's in total disarray. What does she generate? She generates a lot of tension, stress. And that's why, guys, if you're married to someone like that, what are you going to want to do? You're going to go fishing. You want to stay at work. You're going to go hang out with your buddies. Eventually, you're going to find a mistress. Okay, so look for those two things right away. See how is she a builder, or is she one that is boisterous and loud and tears down and is chaotic? Third thing, it is better to live, and Proverbs 21 says, in the desert land than with a contentious and vexing woman. Another verse in Proverbs said it's better to live in the corner of a roof than in the house shared with a contentious woman. Another, Proverbs 27:15 says, a constant dripping, it's raining today, so I could look outside and see some dripping, on a day of steady rain and a contentious woman are alike. Notice what it says here in this verse. First of all, it says that it's better to be in a corner of a house, which is not a good place to be, or in a desert land. Two not great places than to be with a contentious woman. Okay? Because a contentious woman is one that constantly nags. She drips, she says a lot, but doesn't say anything. Okay? She's like a leaky faucet. You know, you hear a leaky faucet, oh man, I hear something dripping. I gotta go in and get the and turn that thing off. Okay? Charles Spurgeon, this is what he had to say. He says, good mothers labor to make the home the happiest place in the world. And good wives, if they are nagging and grumbling, they will lose hold on their children. And the boys will be tempted, and even the husband, to spend evenings away from home. So it's really important that you find that this person is not a complainer. I know women like that. And what do they call them today? They call them Karens. You see them doing all these, getting in people's faces, throwing a fit, and they're arguing about nothing. They got a chip on their shoulder. Okay, this is not good. Another thing, so those are some things not to look for. Okay, I'm giving you the negative first, then I'll give you the positive. She's sensuous. A woman that is overly sensuous. Okay, Proverbs 2:15. Her paths are crooked, as are her devious ways. To deliver you from the strange woman, from an adulteress who flatters with her words, that leaves the companion of her youth and forgets the covenant of God. She made a vow, but she runs off and she's got her eyes for other men. Okay? She's more about getting her sensuality met and filled rather than meeting the needs of her husband and fulfilling the vow that she made to him, to a mate. So if you have a person that is overly sensuous, she's a cheerleader, maybe she likes to attract all the boys, or, you know, she's on YouTube or TikTok and all that all the time, then you know for the most part that this is not a woman. She dresses in a way that draws a lot of invitation to herself and the way she looks. Be careful for her. Look what it says. She leaves the companion of her youth and forgets the covenant to her God. For her house sinks to death, and her tracks lead to the dead. Okay? None who go to her return again. Now, there's a couple things that you need to recognize here about a sensuous woman. She's more concerned with making a career than caring for her children. Okay? That came out of the feminist movement. And a lot of the times when she dresses and she's going to work, she's not going there dressed for your benefit. She's going there dressed for her boss or from her other employees and so forth. Okay? In verse 15 of Proverbs, it says, her paths are crooked. What does that mean, guys? It means basically that her priorities are screwed up. There's no higher calling for a woman than to be a nester, to be a homemaker, to be one that cares for her husband. But if she feels, I'm not going to be fulfilled, I need to run into this career, I need to get my feelings, I need to discover who I am, and she starts talking all that kind of nonsense, red flags, guys. Red flags, because problems are coming. Okay, I guarantee you there's going to be problems. There's one lady, she wrote this, she said, there are so many things that I would love to do, accomplishments both great and small, which I should follow through. I should read up on current things, events far and near, but somehow I don't find the time because of my career. Now there's my music I enjoy and I should travel to. Legitimate, delightful things that others seem to do. But I have laid my dreams aside, for now my course is clear. These other things must wait, since I have chosen my career. It is the brightest job of all, with gratifying ends, the best profession in the world, and pays dividends. Look at what she said, guys. I am a mother and a wife, thanks to God. 4 children I must rear, that brings a challenge to my heart, and this is my career. Very difficult to find women that have that priority in this day and age, guys, especially in this country. Now, she's very, if you look for a woman, she's got a lot of things that, when you look at, you got to notice all these red flags. If not, you're going to pay a heavy price. Now, let me tell you the characteristics of a good woman to look for. Okay, and a lot of this comes from Proverbs 31. Okay, the world wants you to look for someone that's beautiful, someone that has a little money, someone that's well-read, all these different things. Not that those things are bad in themselves, but God puts a different priority. Because why? Let's say that, guys, you married this girl because she looks really good. Well, what if she's in an automobile accident and she's disfigured? Is your love for her going to be diminished? If that's the case, you loved her because of. Because of relationships almost never work, or I'm going to be with her if she meets my needs a certain way, if she provides a certain thing. Because of or if relationships hardly never work. Okay? Because then there's going to be competition, life dynamics change, other things are going to come along. So here's some other things to look for in a good woman. First of all, Proverbs 31:10 tells us that she is valuable. How is she valuable? It says this, for her worth is far above jewels. Okay? The heart of her husband trusts in her, and he will have no lack of gain. She does him good, not evil, all the days of her life. Guys, think about the person you're with right now. Think about the person you want to be with somebody you can't trust. that will betray you, worse, undermine you, you know, someone that is always backbiting with you, who does you evil, not good. There is no painful thing in the world than to be with somebody like that. Okay, and imagine the harm it does to the kids to view and see all that. Second thing, you're going to find one that is an asset, not a liability. Okay? You can trust her for her to do good. Another thing, she's industrious. Man, I love watching these YouTube videos of women in Afghanistan and Iraq and how they're able to do so much with so little. Watch and see how she spends her money. See if she's shortful, or she's the kind of person that says, when something breaks, well, it broke. You know, things break. Rather than take care of something to make it last. I know women that do that. They hardly anything breaks with them. If they do, they have the ability to fix it. You know, not, well, we'll just get another one. Having that attitude, because they don't do preventive maintenance. They don't know how to take what resources they have and make good use. I'm glad I had my mom. My mom was Italian, and she could make things go a long way, and very creative in developing things that didn't cost her a lot of money. Okay, she was very industrious. In Proverbs 31:13, she looks for wool and flax and works with her hands in delight. She's like a merchant ship. She brings her food from afar. She's a good, hard worker, and she's a bargain hunter. She's not one that's easily enticed by, 2 for 1, where a store will advertise different bargains, or you can get this, sale, when really you're not getting the sale. They just think they have to need something because they said they reduced the price. That's not really a bargain. That's a marketing scheme. She recognizes that. She's also humble. Proverbs 31:15, she rises also while it's still night. She doesn't sleep in. You call them up in the morning, it's 9 o'clock, it's 10 o'clock, you're still in bed, man? Don't you get up? Or she's not there, I'm tired, you make breakfast. Red flags, guys. Don't do it. She's humble. She rises while it's still night, gives food to her household, and portions to her maidens. I watched my grandma do that. Always working late at night, making tortillas, and early in the morning, making breakfast, helping the men get ready to go work, cleaning their clothes, working hard, yet always laughing, always creating, a home that is inviting and secure and caring and nurturing. She's humble. A humble woman will do that. She's not afraid of work. Proverbs 31:16, she considers a field and buys it. Women, they live off of food stamps. Or their husband goes and they work and they sit around all day and watching soap operas. Or TV game shows. Why would you want to be with somebody like that? Okay? There's all kind of red flags going off. Okay? That would bore me. I know myself. I would tell them, hey, listen, why don't you turn the TV off and do something here? These dishes are piling up. The clothes need to be clean. The bed needs to be made. You can bake a pie. You can do creative. You can even develop a hobby. There's a lot of things you can do, but sit on your rear end all day and just watch TV. She's a time waster. Okay? She's not afraid to work. She's a hard worker. She doesn't mind mopping the floor, even picking sugar beets with migrants. Okay? One person says about this kind of woman that's a hard worker, She may be on the swing shift, but she is no swinger. Okay? She is skilled. She may be able to play the piano. All my aunts, you come to the house, they're playing the piano, they're singing hymns, people are coming over. To find a woman like that, you know. She's compassionate. She extends her hand to the poor. She stretches out her hand to the needy. She's not so busy with her career that she doesn't recognize the needs of other people. You know, I know women that are very generous and very giving. I also know women that are very stingy and very harboring. Everything they have, they just hoard and keep it for themselves. In fact, they're afraid anybody's going to take it away from them. Okay? They don't recognize that what they have belongs to God, and they're just a steward of it. A good woman's going to be a steward of your things, guys. Okay? She's not going to waste your money. Her hobby isn't going to be shopping and getting on Amazon, you know, and ordering packages every day. She is secured and prepared for the future. Proverbs 31:21. She is not afraid of the snow for her household, for all her household are clothed with warm clothing. She is balanced. She makes covering for herself. Her clothing is fine linen and purple. And even though she provides for her family, guys, she also knows enough to take care of herself. She's not a martyr in the sense where she's an extremist, you know, that goes from one extreme to the other. Yeah, she takes care of her family, but she also takes care of herself, physically, emotionally, spiritually, socially, because a healthy person can minister with a greater influence and impact than an unhealthy person. Okay? So she's well balanced. She's a helpmeet. Guys, when God created Adam, he said it was not good for man to be alone. Okay? He needed someone to come along and be a helpmeet for him. That's someone that should help him, not hurt him. Okay? In Proverbs 31:23, it says, her husband is known in the gates, and when he sits among the elders of the land. This woman is going to enhance you, not only before other men, but before your children. A bad woman won't do that. A bad woman is jealous of her own children if the children seem to pay more attention to you than to her. It's hardly a day that goes by that we don't hear bad women killing their own kids. Oh, men do it too, you know. But this is one thing you need to look for, okay? She is thrifty. Proverbs 31:24. She makes linen garments and sells them and applies belts to the tradesmen. She has a good reputation. Strength and dignity are her clothing, and she smiles at the future. She doesn't have any skeletons in her closet, you know, that she's afraid of that's going to leak out. This is a woman that has a lot of integrity, okay? She's not scared to her past to come up and, you know, put her to shame or disfigure her. She's a master of her time. That's a key thing, especially this day and age, to look for. And Proverbs 31:10, she looks to the ways of her household and does not eat the bread of idleness. She knows how to use a day timer. She knows how to plan on a calendar. You'll see her post-it notes on the refrigerator, to-do lists. Okay? One of the most important things is she is God conscious. Charm is deceitful and beauty is vain, but a woman who fears the Lord, she shall be praised. That is her inner beauty. Guys, the Bible has a lot to say about bad women and good women. It's right there. It screams at us. It's wisdom. Pay attention to those character traits, okay? Is she a nester or is she a destroyer? Is she prudent or is she an overspender? Okay? Is she one that is compassionate and is sensitive to the needs of others, or is she narcissistic and very selfish? Okay? I can think of women, good and bad, that in my lifetime, and the greatest and most beautiful women that I have ever known have been ones that have had a deep personal walk with God. And they understand their God-given role and how to be blessed by God in a way that only women can be blessed by. Let me read one other passage of Scripture to you. Okay? And I think this is really important. Hold on, don't get excited. It says here, a godly woman who can find, but he who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. God is the one that can provide this kind of woman for you if you will pay attention to his road signs and recognize this is one for you, this is not one that you should stay away from. Okay? When you know it's the right one, three things are going to line up. God's Word, first and foremost. Okay, she's a believer and a spiritual believer. Second of all, divine providence. He who finds a wife, God will make the arrangement. And third of all, a tremendous sense of peace that this is what you did, it was right. You got those things, you pay attention to all the road signs and the different things, and you're going to be okay. Now, if you married the wrong person and you're in that kind of relationship right now, there's still hope. You know, I've seen families and people in marriages that were bad and broken and shouldn't have come together get turned around. When they turn, see, God has a way of making amends and bringing things back and healing and all that goes on. But you got to make an effort. You got to be willing to admit, hey, I was wrong about this. I've known wives, guys that have gone off on deployment and come back and find their wives with other guys, and they're devastated, you know, or maybe run off with their best friend. Everything breaks down. And why would she do that? Well, and then often it's kind of, I was lonely. Well, she's sensuous. God warned you about not to get with such a woman. Okay? So you want to have a good relationship with your significant other, you got to start off on the right foot by picking and selecting the right person. You don't do that, and you're in a relationship with somebody that's better to live in the corner of a roof or in a desert land, it's something worse than being married, and that's being married to the wrong person. Now you got literal hell on earth. And you'll find out that what you thought was going to be an ideal turned into an ordeal, and now you're ready for a new deal. Okay? Guys, it's real important that you find your best friend, your soulmate, and someone that will build you up all the time and encourage you and recognize that her role is that she wants to make you to be the man of God that God wants you to be. God bless y'all.